Bar, Johnny O, Rag & Bone, John Hardy, and much more at Cayman's. For fresh, delicious Italian dining, visit Gabarino's Homestyle Italian. For lunch, dinner, or takeaway, you are guaranteed to get amazing meals from scratch family recipes at Gabarino's. Hit the driving range or play around at the Westwood Golf Course. It's easy to book a tee time online, pick up a bucket of balls, or enjoy the delicious Turn Grill at Westwood Golf Course. When you shop local, you are supporting businesses that give back to community events, schools, sports, and local nonprofits. However you enjoy summer in Norman, remember to eat, shop, and play local.
Mike Steely here for K&B Homes. They've been the go-to choice for custom-built homes in Oklahoma since 2016. With over 25 years of experience, they pride themselves on building energy-efficient homes, high-quality materials, and craftsmanship. Their flat service fee means no surprises, just beautiful custom-built homes tailored to your budget. Whether you choose one of their plans or start from scratch, you'll see why K&B Homes is custom-built homes at its finest. Call 405-808-9005 or visit knbhomesllc.com today.
My son Ian was diagnosed with a brain tumor at the age of 16 months. We had no hope until St. Jude rescued us. He's alive because of what St. Jude has done. He's here because of the doctors who came before, their blood, their sweat, their tears, the knowledge accumulated and shared, with everyone else around the world. This is how we help kids beat cancer all over.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
The Ref Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510. Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings Studios, it's time to get locked in to the best Sooner recruiting and football news with Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino call-in line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
6 days out from a major announcement. You guys know what the major announcement is. It's five-star offensive lineman Michael Fasusi announcing his decision between OU, Texas, and Texas A&M. And, ooh, boy, did that get juicy last night. Hanging out with the wife last night, and then, boom, I see it on my timeline. Brandon Drum, he did it. A week out, he drops the future cast for one Michael Fasusi. I mean, this goes without saying, Parker Thune. But that is a rather significant prediction a week out for Michael Fasusi. Clearly, he feels good enough about things from what he's hearing to log that prediction. But that is one that will not be forgotten in a week's time. So for OU's sake, I'm hoping they get Michael Fasusi. For Brandon Drum's sake, yeah. I hope that they get Michael Fasusi.
Yeah, big time. And I respect Brandon's chutzpah in being willing to toss that prediction out there, because he said it. He was like, look, if I'm wrong, if this thing takes a late swing, I'll just take the L and you all can be mad at me. But as I mentioned earlier, Tyler, part of the reason I haven't flipped my pick in favor of Oklahoma isn't because the buzz isn't on the Sooners, because it is. It's that how many times have I sat here and said it would seem the only thing standing between Oklahoma and XYZ recruit is an ungodly bag. And then, boom, here comes the ungodly bag. Right. So 6 days is a long, long time in a five-star recruitment.
Yeah, 6 days is when an ungodly bag could be dropped. 6 days is honestly probably like an eternity, too. And I think that money-wise, this was probably always going to work out well for Michael Fasusi. But the fact that he is announcing the day that he is, essentially in late August now, like when a lot of those offensive line targets are off the board, yes, flips can happen, flips do happen, but that's what makes you a little nervous around here, right? It's, okay, Brandon Drum throws in a prediction. That tells me that OU feels good with where they're at a week out, but at the same time, you're saying what I'm thinking as well is an enormous bag could be dropped at any time, especially when we get this late into the cycle and there's not as many high-profile offensive linemen that are left on the board. And desperation can get the best out of teams at times.
And here's what only exacerbates the apprehension in my mind, Tyler. Michael Fasusi's still talking to Texas A&M. And if you rewind 1 year to the day, for the most part, there was another guy for whom everybody was sitting there wondering, okay, is it going to be OU? Is it going to be Texas? It's getting down to the finish line here. Is it OU or is it Texas? Feels like an OU-Texas battle. And then Texas A&M swooped in the very final days of that recruitment and got his commitment. That was Dominic McKinley. And ultimately, Dominic McKinley didn't sign with OU. He didn't sign with Texas. He didn't sign with Texas A&M. He ended up signing with the home state program, staying in the state of Louisiana, and going to LSU. But the point remains, Tyler, many have been worried about Texas, and trust me, there's adequate reason to be worried about Texas. I am worried about Texas just as much as anyone else is. But the fact that A&M is still in the picture here should also be worrisome to Oklahoma football fans, because you've seen A&M wreak havoc on your best laid plans with a 5-star before, right? It hasn't been all that long either.
You shouldn't have to convince any of us to at least be concerned about A&M going down to the stretch in this by dropping an ungodly bag. Like you're saying, we've felt that before. I do have major news, though, here at Bad Daddy's Burger Bar in Norman, in elite spots.
Wait, you're at Bad Daddy's?
That's one thing that you and I will not disagree on.
No, I'm going to have to take this up with management. They sent you out there and left me here to rot in this studio.
And bringing Caleb Kelly out here today, too. That was
unbelievable. I got the short end of the stick on this whole deal. Am I going to get in trouble if I say that Bad Daddy's has the best burger in Norman? Because that is my sincere belief.
I mean, I'm here today. So they paid for us to be out here, so I don't think that you're going to get in trouble for that. But they threw down my burger order. When the open is rolling, dude, the burger order comes.
Yeah.
So let's maybe double up the breaks here. You know,
you need me to just filibuster for a while so you can throw down that burger.
Let's rerun a Brent Venables press conference from his first week, so I get like 20 minutes in between responses there to eat this burger. Tell me how I did. Now, I went with the Heatwave burger because it's one of their popular items, one of the more popular burgers they have on the menu right now. So I thought, I'll try it, see what's going on. Pepper jack cheese, jalapeno bacon, freshly sliced jalapenos, and they do look freshly sliced.
Whoa.
House-made chipotle cayenne ketchup and habanero mustard.
So you like a little bit of kick is what you're telling me.
You know, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I can – I mean, we'll see how much kick this thing has and what state I'm in the next segment, but – it interested me, yeah, especially since it's so popular on the menu. I thought, sure, let's go with that.
Man. See, I couldn't do the Heatwave. I'm going to be straight up. Bad Daddy's has many, many burgers that I enjoy. I can't bring myself to pull the trigger on the Heatwave because I do not have much of a tolerance for spicy heat. And so I don't know if I could get past more than a few bites of that burger.
Well, thoughts and prayers appreciated to everyone out there. The YouTube stream is very aware of the current situation I'm under, and they have offered their thoughts and prayers on the chat. KREF Sports on YouTube. Go subscribe to us there. Go comment with us there. Yes, the text line is fun. The text line is great, but the YouTube comments are pretty fun as well. So let's get back to Michael Fasusi. So yes, we're going to have to operate moving forward that at any time an ungodly bag could be dropped by any of the three schools here, and maybe that ultimately wins out. But let's remove that from the conversation just for a little bit, though it'll probably be a big factor. Outside of, like, what OU has offered NIL-wise, what would be a good thing to tell OU fans of why they should be confident with Michael Fasusi in this recruitment?
Well, because Michael Fasusi really, really likes Bill Bedenbaugh. And likes the fact that he can be, without question, I'm not saying without competition, but there's a very clear path for him to be the next great left tackle at the University of Oklahoma. Certainly helps that his best friend, Sean Hutton, is committed to Oklahoma as a preferred walk-on center. And all in all, man, every single time Michael Fasusi has come to Norman, every single time he's made it up for a visit, the word coming out of that visit has been very, very encouraging, very promising, very positive. in favor of Oklahoma. So, again, like I don't think you would find anybody at this point that would dispute the notion that Oklahoma is in the catbird seat right now. Emphasis on right now. You got to hold it to and through next Wednesday for any of it to matter. Because if you ain't first, you're last.
Well, that's true. And I don't want to hear we finished second. Maybe we'll get him in the transfer portal if he wants to decommit or enter in the portal from A&M. Now, this is a big deal against your biggest SEC rival. I think you need to go out and get Michael Fasusi. Go make it happen. And as of right now, there's at least one prediction in for OU to do just that next Wednesday. Are there any other predictions out there for Fasusi?
Nope. Brandon
OU, Texas A&M, or any others? He's alone on
Brandon
it?
has planted his flag on the island, and he is the only inhabitant for the moment. Glenn from Nashville on the text line says, I've texted this before, and I'll say it again. I'll never understand why these players take the short money. If you want to be developed for the NFL as an offensive lineman, you go to OU. You want to take the short money, go to A&M and play for whoever the heck their O-line coach is.
I mean, I don't know the exact number. I do know that Georgia Tech just paid an interior offensive lineman $800. And I don't disagree with you, Glenn. In fact, I agree with you, if anything. But if the offer is around $1 million, and I'm going to guess that his highest offer is probably maybe even north of $1 million, that's still really hard to turn down at this stage of life. I mean, yes, you're right, Glenn, but dang, it may be a seven-figure deal, and that's really hard to turn down.
Chonky Chuck on the text line says, brother, I cannot do this recruiting to the wire again. Blessings to the staff for dealing with this.
Yeah.
No joke.
Oh, man. I mean, like, for us, it's just emotional, and we got to deal with emotions, and, throughout the show, the livelihood of individuals kind of on the other side of things are, I mean, not at stake. Like, Bill Beamo's not going to get fired if he doesn't get Michael Fasusi, but,
yeah.
I mean, that can really set up your offensive line for, especially at tackle, for, at least the next few years.
Well, and you don't do this for a kid. You don't do this with a kid unless you are 100% determined that he is going to be worth it. Oklahoma would not have jumped through as many hoops as they jumped through to land Peyton Bowen if they didn't believe that in the end Peyton Bowen was going to be worth it. They would not have let the process drag out for months and months and months if they didn't believe that, A, they could knock off UCF in the recruitment of Eddie Pierre-Louis, and that, B, in the end, he was going to be very much worth it. And with Michael Fasusi, I have said for a long, long time, over a year at this point, I believe Michael Fasusi is the best offensive tackle prospect in the 2025 class. Even if you don't share that opinion, I would say you'd be hard-pressed to look at the options out there and conclude that Michael Fasusi is any worse than a top 5 offensive tackle prospect in this class. And if that is the case, yes, this is a guy that you're going to invest as much effort, as much sweat equity as is necessary into in order to secure his pledge.
So let's live in the kind of the good spot here. Brandon's right. First prediction rolls down 6 days. Michael Fasusi picks OU. What a moment that'll be. The celebration on this show and on social media. Where do they go from there? Are they done with Babalola? Do they keep shooting their shot with Andrew Babalola? What's the next move if this turns up the right way?
I have been told definitively, authoritatively, Oklahoma will take both, would love to have both, and will press for both. That said, I do not think they get both. Because it's a very difficult sell to a guy like Babalola, because all these big-time offensive tackle prospects want to play left tackle, right? That's where the money is long-term. You get to the NFL, you can make a crap load of money as a left tackle, more so than at any other position on the line. And so if you already have Michael Fasusi locked in and on board as your left tackle of the future, you basically have to convince Andrew Babalola to play right tackle at Oklahoma instead of left tackle at a place like Michigan. And you're swimming against a heavy current if that's what you're trying to do.
Big Rich in OKC in all caps. Scrimmage yesterday? We'll get to the scrimmage yesterday, Big Rich. Jeez. We'll do that coming up next. I'm at Bad Daddy's Burger Bar right here in Norman. where I got a task on my hands here during the break here. Eat this Heatwave burger that apparently everyone's been going crazy about in town. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2050 24th Avenue Northwest right here in Norman. This location has been around for 6 years. They've got plenty of TVs, and they're a great spot to watch the OU games coming up this season. Check them out in Norman. It is locked in right here on the Ref. We're the home of Sooner fans.
Sooner fans, show your Sooner pride. Crafted for SEC competition. Every OU fan should own a piece of Sooner magic. Made in America, like it should be. Get your official on-field OU football today.
Claims since 1988 with preparation and expert analysis detailing your loss and insurance settlement. As your trusted consultant, Brown O'Haver can give you peace of mind and make sure you're getting what's yours. Call Brown O'Haver today, 405-735-5510, and make sure they're working for you.
If you're looking for a no appointment needed doctor's visit, head to Norman Regional's walk-in clinics in Norman and more. Open Monday through Friday from 7 a to 7 p. Our walk-in clinics offer convenience for new or established patients. The clinic providers treat allergies, cold and flu symptoms, sore throats, stomach viruses, and more. Our Norman clinic is located at Norman Regional 9, 2000 and Brandon Boulevard, Suite 201. And our Moore clinic is located at Norman Regional Moore, 700 South Telephone Road, Suite 201.
Hi Norman, it's DJ Newsom with Alliance Bank, your community-driven, friendly neighborhood bank. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur, lead a nonprofit organization, or just someone seeking a better banking experience, we've got you covered. From business to personal banking, we tailor our services to suit everyone's needs. We believe in making banking easy and enjoyable. Visit our Norman location or call us today at 405-286-5750. Alliance Bank, banking tailored to your needs. Member FDIC.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
As we wonder why our kids are struggling, someone is getting bullied. As we discuss how to improve their mental health, someone is being harassed on social media. As we wonder why they're skipping school, someone is crying themselves to sleep. Knowing the signs is the best way to prevent bullying.
Please just leave me alone.
Learn the signs at sandyhookpromise.org.
Are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
My mother was always very active and independent, and she was familiar with her neighborhood. But one day, she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. She wasn't even really sure where she was at.
It's important for you to talk to someone about it. I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, we'll figure it out.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Locked in with McComas and Thune, live on the Ref. We're the home of Sooner fans. Woo, that was a good burger during the break. Chonky Chuck's right on the YouTube live stream. going to be spitting fire the rest of Locked In. I know I said Locked On. Dang it, I had done that in like a year and a half. I said it today for some reason.
Did you put that whole burger down during the break?
About 90% of it.
Oh, okay. Still got a couple bites.
A handful of tater tots. Trevor LaFoon's helping me. He's digging his hands in here in my tater tots during the break as well. But, yeah, dude, that's a good burger. I mean, Bad Daddy's doesn't have a bad thing on the menu. That everything's really good here. And I am qualified to say that. And I think you are as well because of how many times they brought food to the station. And they don't just bring, like, the same burger for anyone. They bring, like, 5 different burgers, a Philly cheesesteak, all the sides. Parker eats all the banana pudding before anyone can get
right,
any.
I do. Ain't nobody else touching that stuff.
I'm telling you. I mean, this place is awesome. The bar's really cool. TV's everywhere. I mean, if you're going to the games on Saturdays, cool. But if you need a place before and after the game, Friday night, Sunday, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar to watch all the football this year. So really, really good spot. All right, Big Rich is freaking out about not talking about the scrimmage yet. We'll talk about the scrimmage from yesterday. And, hey, I already like that there's not a panic and a freak out like there was after the first scrimmage about the offense. Offense have a little bit better day there in scrimmage 2 than scrimmage 1. It would seem like that was the case.
It could be said, yes, which, again, based on the way that everybody was talking about the first scrimmage, you would be alarmed if the offense didn't get better from one scrimmage to the next. But, yeah, there was a little bit more of a healthy back and forth, and that's generally, again, how fall camp is going to go for just about any program. That's not exclusive to OU. That's just kind of the nature of the beast is the defense will be a little bit ahead of the offense at the outset, and then that margin will slowly close. And ideally, by the end of fall camp, you want to have about a 50-50 split where your offense is getting the better of your defense on some occasions, and your defense is getting the better of your offense on some occasions.
720 from Denver says, do you see this offense looking like the Jason White days of pounding the rock and throwing deep?
Ooh.
That's the sense that I get. I would love that. I mean, Jason White was, under center probably more than we're going to see Jackson Arnold during those days. But if they're able to pound the rock and throw the ball deep, then, yeah, I'm all about that. Throwing the ball deep, I don't think that that's going to be an issue this year. In fact, I think that could be one of the strengths of this offense. But a big question mark to me is, do I think the offense can run the ball consistently and just pound the football at someone? Like, I hope so, but, yet to be determined.
Yeah. Ronnie Crimson says, Jackson Arnold did good. Defense sucks. Cancel the season.
That's the way you're supposed to do it, Ronnie Crimson. Nice job.
5-star.
That's it.
Gunny of Stutzman Army is coming after me. He said, I'd bet money if you wore more OU gear and not Miners or Jackrabbits gear, you'd get to go to Bad Daddy's, Parker. That may be true.
Your South Dakota State Jackrabbits, I believe, debuted at number 1 in the FCS poll.
Dang right, baby.
So, Oklahoma State plays South Dakota State week 1. South Dakota State number 1. Colorado plays North Dakota State, and I believe North Dakota State was number 2, the Bison. So could we have a Big 12 upset on our hands?
The Dakota's own FCS football, baby.
Yeah, they do. Number 1 and number 2, the true juggernauts up there up north. 785. Did Andrel Anthony play Farouk? ?
Again, both of those guys have been going through practice. They've been going through everything in a limited capacity. They're not doing all of the same things that the rest of the receivers are doing. They're not taking all of the same reps. They're getting those guys back up to speed. So, yes, they are available right now. They are, again, 2 more guys that fall into the category of hurt, not injured. They were injured. They're working back. Their availability is limited right now, but they are not just sitting idly by on the practice field.
Yeah, and again, I think we had way too much overreaction from scrimmage number 1. Of course the defense is going to get the better of the offense. Jackson Arnold is still a young quarterback, and if he doesn't have his full arsenal around him, then what did we expect to happen? And just because he might have struggled a bit and thrown a couple of interceptions in the first scrimmage when he didn't have his full deck against a really good defense that is not slowing down, doesn't mean that there's a quarterback battle. And there's not a quarterback battle. So just give it time, give it the rest of training camp, Let him get those 3 starts under his belt before they play Tennessee. I've got question marks about this offense, sure, Parker, but I do think that this offense from the get-go is going to be able to do a lot of things well, such as throw the ball downfield and hit on big plays. Like, I look at this offense this year as I think it's going to be one that's going to hit on a ton of big plays.
Yeah. Well, and they should, right? You look at the pieces that are there. If they don't hit on big plays with some regularity, and I can recall recent years, Tyler, where they just didn't have the dudes that were big play machines. And, heck, I think the entire 2020 and 2021 seasons, I mean, outside of Marvin Mims, who was making big plays for that Oklahoma offense? They just weren't there. But it's not as if Deion Burks is the only guy or Nick Anderson is the only guy that can make a big play down the field in that receiver room. Brennan Thompson has made plays. You expect him to make more of them this fall. Andrell Anthony, we saw that he was capable last season of making big plays down the field. And it's not just at the receiver position. You look in that backfield, Gavin Sawchuk's a home run hitter. Man, Taylor Tatum has that same potential. I still think we have not seen the best of Javonte Barnes. And so this offense at the skill positions, they are so much more dangerous. And let's take that word for what it is. When I say dangerous, I mean capable of ripping off a big play with no notice whatsoever. Out of the blue, boom, you give a guy a window, he can go 40, 50, 60 yards on you. This offense at the skill positions is so much more dangerous than any Oklahoma offense that I have seen in my time on the beat.
405, what kind of odds do you give South Dakota State to upset Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
What do you think the spread is in that game? I actually have the number pulled up.
Really? I would bet Oklahoma State is like a 10-point favorite, maybe?
9-point favorite.
There you go.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad. So one that could be definitely interesting in the fourth quarter, but I mean, I'd pick Oklahoma State to win that one as of today, as of right now. 91, I expect Arnold to have the same second year as Caleb Williams.
Well, Caleb Williams won the Heisman his second year in college, so there you go.
Me too.
Is that our first official prediction that Jackson Arnold is your Heisman Trophy winner in 2024?
Maybe. I know we had several that were predicting him to be in New York the day I guess what was it, the Tuesday after the whole, there's a quarterback battle currently on campus. Some were like, no, shut up. No, he's not. He's going to be in New York next year. I can't remember, though, if anyone officially picked him to win the Heisman Trophy here. 2-star Christian Chicago gets the show. Huge OU fan here. Is it acceptable to overreact to scrimmage reports? And the answer to that is yes, it is. 1-star EJ from Louisiana says, I know this is off subject, but we talk about how other stadiums are tough to play at as LSU, Bama, and at Auburn. But what will OU Stadium be known for, and do other teams consider it a tough place to play? Just wondering. So I do remember at Big 12 Media Day, they were going around and asking, certain players, hey, what was the most difficult place that you've played at in your career? And a guy from Iowa State was like, man, OU was crazy last year. Well, that was a game when OU was rolling early in the season. It was a night game. Like, the conditions were favorable for last year's home schedule, at least, to have a really good environment. I have no idea what SEC players think of Owen Field right now, but I've stayed pretty consistent with this, Parker, because I adamantly believe it. I think we're going to see the best home environments consistently that we've seen in a very, very long time because of the level of opponents coming in, because of the better kickoff times, and because I think everyone kind of understands their role. Is that, you know what, maybe you need to be a little bit more involved in the games when you're playing the likes of Tennessee, Bama, Michigan, LSU, and Auburn coming up. So I really believe the home environments are going to be significantly better than they've been in previous years.
Well, and you know what's going to help enhance the environment, too, is opposing fan bases are going to travel well. You're not going to have 400 Baylor fans up in the corner of one of the end zone bleachers. No, I would expect that you will have several thousand of the opposing team's fans in the building for every single one of Oklahoma's home games because it just means more in the SEC. We heard Shane Beamer talk about this, right, at SEC Media Days. He said, oh, yeah, there are so many of our fans that have already booked their tickets and plane flights out to Oklahoma for our game against the Sooners later this year. So if that's what you can expect from a program like South Carolina, how much more can you expect it from a program like Alabama or Tennessee?
Big Rich says we're known for kicking for chicken, Tyler. And two-star Christian Chicago also says the same. Yeah, sorry. The SEC will know OU as the game, sure, but we really all show up to see what's going to happen in kicking for chicken there during the football game. Speaking of rankings, I did see a high school football rankings nationally from On3.
Uh-huh.
It looks as though Bixby is a top 10 team nationally, according to On3. They have them at number 10 in the country.
As they dang well should be.
Man. What a powerhouse they've turned into.
Was it Mansfield Timberview? There was some Texas high school football program, some like 6A team from DFW that played Bixby a couple years back and just got demolished. The final score was like 51-10 or something like that.
They how many Texas teams are in the top 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jeez. They've got Duncanville at 2, DeSoto at 3, South Lake Carroll at 5, North Shore and Houston at 6, and Humble, Texas, Atascocita. That's how you say it, correct?
That's Tory Blaylock's school. Yeah.
Yep. Jeez. State of Texas got 5 of the top 10, but there's the Bixby Spartans hanging in at number 10 nationally. Bishop Gorman, recognizable high school, at number 7 in there as well. IMG Academy at number 9. But a lot of this is just based on, reputation. And the fact that Bixby has developed the reputation to be in a top 10 nationally, just shows you how far that high school has come and how dominant they've been here recently.
Ronnie Crimson on the text line says, never forget that J.J. Hester is the sole reason that Bixby hasn't won 10 state titles in a row. Whatever he's referring to precedes my time covering recruiting in the state of Oklahoma. Is that accurate?
I'm willing to believe it. I don't know. I think Ronnie Crimson is up in the he's got a 918 phone number, so he is up in the Tulsa area. So I'll take his word for that. All right, 405-651-3439 is the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. We'll get back into more OU training camp, more OU recruiting right here on the Ref.
Hey, this is Jake Rowe.
Sooner fans, show your Sooner pride. Crafted for SEC competition. Every OU fan should own a piece of Sooner magic. Made in America, like it should be. Get your official on-field OU football today.
The Sooners kick off.
5-star recruits.
All you have to do is go to kref.com and click the pop-up register to win one of our 12 prizes.
4 fingers in the air, 3 brothers sell the 2 ponies in the barn, and the Sooners in the SEC.
That's the Ref's 12 days of football. Register for a chance to win at kref.com today. The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Must be 18 or older to enter.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See me, Brian McPherson, and let us help protect all your cars.
Looking for a better way to bank? Join OU Federal Credit Union and experience the difference. If you are tired of hidden fees and impersonal service at your big bank, well, you deserve better, and that's what you'll find at OU Federal Credit Union. They offer competitive rates on loans and savings accounts. Plus, they're a local member-owned institution. Join OU Federal Credit Union today and discover the benefits of being a part of a community that cares. Visit OUFCU.com or stop by the branches today. Member savings insured up to $250,000 by NCUA.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Serving in Afghanistan, I was shot in the head by sniper fire. I was given a 5% chance to live. I'm Adam Alexander, and I'm a veteran. Today, I visit classrooms and share my story. I tell kids that with a little help and a lot of work, that you can overcome any challenge.
DAV helps veterans like Adam get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is being there for the next generation.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
They say if you don't like the weather in Oklahoma, wait 5 minutes and check it again. Nope, not there yet. Ah, that's more like it. Being comfortable is important, and if it's -5 degrees or 100 degrees, Norman Air has you covered. Our impeccable quality and unbeatable service is what sets us apart from our competitors. It's just part of our mission to keep Oklahoma comfortable. Visit normanair.com for all your heating, air, plumbing, and electrical needs. Norman Air, service to the max.
Locked in with McComas and Thune, live on the ref for the Homa Sooner fans. Tyler McComas, Park Thune. I'm just maybe at the best spot in Norman today. You know what? I'll say it. I am at the best spot in Norman today. I'm at Bad Daddy's Burger Bar right here in Norman, 2050 24th Avenue Northwest, where they've got TVs everywhere. It's going to be an awesome spot to watch college football and the NFL this year. And they've got all the great menu items. The bacon cheeseburger on steroids. The badass burger that comes with buttermilk fried bacon. Oh, boy. Create your own burgers, salads. They've got margaritas and beers. And, you know, deviled eggs are a little tricky for me. Like, there has to be a level of trust that I have with the other individual if I'm going to eat the deviled eggs. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of things that can go wrong there.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I like a good deviled egg, but a lot of things can go wrong in a hurry. So I got to be able to trust you. There's got to be that sense of I'm not going to be put in a bad spot if I eat this. So I've tried them before here from Bad Daddy's, and they're fantastic. Like everything else, man.
I probably will make an appearance by the end of the day.
Ooh, that'd be cool. You could hop on with Caleb and I for a segment. I mean, I don't want to bug you while you're eating or anything, but, you know,
well,
have a little fun.
My priority will be eating. But I may find the time edgewise to squeeze in a segment with you guys.
I'll tell you what's undefeated on the text line, and I love it every single time, is that I mention some in-state high school program and how well they're doing, and the immediate trash talk that ensues on the text line. Bixby doesn't want any of that smoke, I promise, says a texter from Texas. You knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen.
Is that, okay, 430, what area of Texas is that? I don't even know offhand.
I think representing all of Texas, all 5 Texas schools is probably what's going on there. Sean says 10 Texas teams in the top 25, but Texas colleges have won 1 title since 1969. Why is that? Sean has been very consistent with that. Everyone tells us that Texas football is different and all this. Well, why haven't they won more?
Well, the reason they won the 1 was Vince Young. The reason they haven't won more, well, you can chalk it up to a lot of different factors. You could try to explain it away by hashing out a variety of different things, but I think ultimately the reality is that a lot of those programs have a reputation for not developing. Texas has certainly not developed well over the years. Texas A&M has not done a great job of development. And, I mean, who else in the state of Texas would you consider to be perennially among the nation's elite? I mean, SMU had their day back in the 80s, right? But in the state of Texas, the 2 premier football programs are Texas and Texas A&M, and both of them have a reputation as 2 of the less than stellar programs in the country when it comes to development.
Were they 1-2 on most overrated programs in the last 40, 50 years, whatever article was released a couple of weeks ago? Like, I'll make my own article. Texas and Texas A&M are 1-2 in terms of most underwhelming, whatever you want to say, college football programs out there that have disappointed the most with everything that we're told about them. They would be 1-2 for me. And, hey, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I can say this. It's not like at the professional level they're winning that much either. I mean, Houston Texans may be in a better spot to win the next Super Bowl than the Dallas Cowboys are right now, as much as that pains me to say.
The Houston Texans annoy me so much. I've always been so annoyed that Bob McNair decided to name the Texans the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, well, they got a pretty good young quarterback out there right now. Okay, so we've been beaten down all offseason. Thank God we're 15 days out from kickoff, but we've been beaten down all offseason of, you guys don't know what it's going to be like in the SEC. Welcome to 6-6, 7-5. That's what you are this year and for all of eternity in this conference. So one more prediction couldn't hurt, right? The Athletic has oddly specific predictions for each team. And here's what they say about Oklahoma. Maybe we actually get a good prediction here. It says, when I put the names of Oklahoma State, Texas A&M, Tennessee, Clemson, LSU, Mizzou, Ole Miss, and Penn State into a hat, with one of them earning the final college football playoff at-large spot, the Sooners came up aces. It sounds nuts, but Oklahoma is going to start 9-0 and then backdoor its way into the college football playoff as the number 11 seed, despite losses to two SEC rivals in November. Jackson Arnold will be good and put up slightly better numbers in his first year as a full-time starter than Dylan Gabriel did last year. But Brent Venables' top 20 scoring defense will be the key to the Sooners' success. 9-0? I haven't heard anyone outside the state pick them to win 9 games.
I know, even Tyler, I thought I was higher on Oklahoma than the rest of the media. I have them at 10-2, but even I do not have them going through the first 9 games of the season unscathed.
Dang, man. 9-0 starts. And it says they lose to two SEC rivals. Well,
SEC rivals.
As of today, I think they have one SEC rival. And if they're starting off 9-0, they're not losing to Texas. So
no, that means they're losing to
Alabama and LSU.
Yeah,
are
Bama
the two
and
SEC
LSU.
rivals?
I guess those would be your 2 losses.
Okay. I mean, I'm guessing people would take that right now if it was offered to you, deal or no deal style, which I don't even know if that's on TV anymore. A 9-0 start, you lose a couple of games late, and then you find yourself as the 11th seed in the playoff, or no?
If you win 10 games, even if you win 9 games, like if you win 10 games, yes, you're in the college football playoff. You win 9 games, you got a pretty good shot, especially if that strength of schedule holds up.
Yeah, I think 10 games, you're in. And I've said it before. I mean, maybe it looks a little bit different if you win 10 games, but you lose your last 2 regular season games. But I think that there's a lot of combinations at 10-2 where you don't just make the playoff. You easily make the playoff and you host a home playoff game this year.
Yeah, well, and I think recency bias is going to matter less in the 12-team playoff era. Even if you lose 2 of your last 3, people are still going to say, okay, this is an Oklahoma team that started 9-0. And at that point, you may be number 1 in the country, Tyler. You may be number 1 in the country mid-season if you're 9-0 at that point. So you will have established a lot of margin for error for yourself. Tommy in Kansas asks, if OU doesn't beat Temple by 52, what will the text line be like? I see your question and raise you a question. If Jackson Arnold throws an interception against Temple, what will the text line be like?
Oh, geez. Like a bad interception, too. Like it's not a tip ball or anything. Like it's clearly his fault, a bad read and a bad ball. I mean, Tommy, I think OU could win by – let me see what I think OU could win by. I think OU could win by 44 and everyone will be happy because the spread is 43.5. Isn't that how we often kind of dictate how well they performed against a bad non-conference team if they cover the spread or not?
Yes. Yes, you're spot
on. 405. Tim from Chickasha says if OU has a top 3 defense in the SEC, I don't see how in the world they finish anything worse than 5-3 in the conference.
Well, what if Jackson Arnold sucks? But no, I said it the other day, and I will reiterate it, Tyler. What is the absolute worst-case scenario at the quarterback position? To me, the absolute worst-case scenario is Jackson Arnold sucks, Michael Hawkins is not ready, and he sucks, and you're rolling out a seventh-year senior in Casey Thompson as your starting quarterback. And are the straits dire if you're rolling with Casey Thompson as your starting quarterback? A 3-year FBS starter and a guy that had more touchdown passes for the University of Texas in 2021 than Quinn Ewers has had in either of his 2 seasons as the starter in Austin? If the worst-case scenario is Casey Thompson is just the hand on the tiller for the offense as the defense does their thing and wins you football games, Oklahoma's still going to have a very successful season.
Camo Sooner says, if Mizzou ever plays USC in Muleshoe, who would you cheer for? Is monkeypox an acceptable answer here?
The
I
asteroid?
can't pick one of the 2 teams. I don't know. I don't want to think about that. God, I don't think that's going to happen in a college football playoff. But I really, 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 really hope I'm right about that. Really hope I'm right about that. All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. I'm at Bad Daddy's Burger Bar right here in Norman. We'll get back to the text line next. The big Michael Fasusi Futurecast and a Julian Lewis headline that I really, really like to read. Speaking of making fun of USC, this is comedy right here, especially if these 1 of 2 things happen. We'll get to that next right here on The Ref.
Hey, Sooner Nate.
Sooner fans, show your Sooner pride. Crafted for SEC competition. Every OU fan should own a piece of Sooner Magic. Made in America, like it should be. Get your official on-field OU football today.
The V8 engine, the ultimate luxury interior, and of course, the available world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate, GMC Sierra. Not just any truck, the truck. GMC's continued commitment to professional-grade engineering is on full display at your Oklahoma GMC dealers. Come take a test drive today and see for yourself. We are professional-grade GMC.
Coach Stoops here for Van Hoos Fence. If you want to work with the best local fence company and get championship service, contact my friend Mark and the Van Hoos Fence team. Van Hoos Fence gives each customer the most professional craftsmanship and competitive pricing in Oklahoma. From wood to chain link to vinyl to metal fences, the Van Hoos Fence team does it all. Contact the Fencing All-Americans at Van Hoos Fence, 405-735-1167 or vhfence.com.
If you're looking for a no appointment needed doctor's visit, head to Norman Regional's walk-in clinics in Norman and more. Open Monday through Friday from 7 a to 7 p. Our walk-in clinics offer convenience for new or established patients. The clinic providers treat allergies, cold and flu symptoms, sore throats, stomach viruses, and more. Our Norman clinic is located at Norman Regional 9, 2000 and Brandon Boulevard, Suite 201. And our Moore clinic is located at Norman Regional Moore, 700 South Telephone Road, Suite 201.
Mike Steele here for Lasher Home Comfort Systems, your trusted home comfort experts in the Oklahoma City metro area. Tim Lasher and his team have more than 130 years of combined experience. They recognize a significant number of homeowners live with inadequate home comfort systems. They specialize in diagnosing your home system issues while providing more efficiency and reducing your utility costs. As an authorized dealer of American Standard, Tim can service your residence or business. Call Tim and his team at 405-579-3113. Lasher Home Comfort Systems.
Belmar Golf Club offers a whole new world of recreation and excitement. Our Junior Olympic-sized swimming pool offers a family-friendly atmosphere with poolside food and beverages perfect for all types of summer pool parties. In addition to the best golf course in Oklahoma, Belmar is also a great place to hold corporate and fundraising events, as well as magnificent and memorable wedding ceremonies. Call 405-364-0111 or stop by 1025 East Indian Hills Road and check out our first-class facilities and exceptional service.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's.
The Parkinson's Foundation knows that the disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed, it affects everyone who supports and helps care for them.
If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers
We can help you understand the disease
and give you tips for living a better life.
Find your answers at parkinson.org or call 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
Every moment counts if you're at risk or living with lung cancer. And anyone with lungs can get lung cancer. It causes more cancer deaths than breast, colon, and prostate combined. And while there may be moments where you question your next step, through it all, Go-To for Lung Cancer is here for you. We are your community. For screening, treatment, and survivorship support, Go-To is your go-to. Confronting lung cancer starts here. Visit goto.org.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Tired of soaring insurance expenses or feeling uncertain about your coverage? At Right Way Insurance, every client receives a dedicated team of experts committed to addressing all your insurance worries. As an independent insurance company, they provide both personal and business coverage. Let them assist you in finding the optimal coverage for your specific needs. Contact Right Way Insurance at 405-607-6014 or at rightwayinsuranceok.com. That's Right Way Insurance, your trusted partner at 405-607-6014.
Dorsey Jones, Buick GMC in El Reno bringing this hour of Locked In with McComas and Thune. Dorsey Jones, Buick GMC, great service, great price, great selection. They have it all. Go check them out in El Reno. Half-price oil changes on Saturdays. Dorsey Jones, Buick GMC in El Reno. Will Howard named the starting quarterback today at Ohio State? I don't think that was a huge surprise there. I think really the question is, can Will Howard kind of retain that starting spot as the year goes on? And we'll see what kind of year he has. Got more talent around him than he's ever had at this level, that's for sure, because, like, one thing that you can always count on now with Ohio State, they're going to have not just one, but, like, 2 or maybe 3 future first-round picks at wide receiver. It's insane what they've done there.
Yeah, there's some excellent receiver talent. All Will Howard has to do is not crash the bus, not try to be a superhero. And, you know, like I do think that if Will Howard just plays within the confines of the system and just does the bare minimum of what a quarterback needs to do at Ohio State, that the Buckeyes will have a successful season and he individually will have a successful season. Where you run into trouble is if Will Howard is trying to be somebody he's not, i.e. C.J. Stroud. He's not going to be C.J. Stroud. He doesn't really need to be C.J. Stroud.
RG3, Robert Griffin III, fired by ESPN, like 2 weeks out from the start of college football season. Very interesting there. He had like 2 years left on his deal, so I don't know if anything else is going to come out on that. But RG3 will not be calling college football games anymore at ESPN. And then the headline that I laughed at today says this: USC believes it can lock down 5-star quarterback Julian Lewis's commitments as Colorado and Indiana work to flip him.
What if Indiana were to flip a 5-star quarterback from Muleshoe?
That's what I was about to say. Like Colorado, would I laugh? Yeah, of course I would laugh. But if Indiana takes Muleshoe's quarterback, dude, that's content for years, man. Years.
Oh, man.
Is it possible?
I might pay for access to every single USC message board if that comes to fruition.
Oh, my gosh. And watch every single YouTube channel? I mean, we've
goodness.
known about Indiana. I mean, he's taken visits there, but please tell me it's at least remotely possible. And I'm going to guess that it is. But I just want to hear you say it out loud that there is a chance that Julian Lewis decommits from USC and goes to Indiana.
Okay, like, is that what you want me to say? Just that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's a chance that Julian Lewis decommits from USC and goes to Indiana.
Man, doesn't that sound great? Doesn't that sound awesome?
I mean, he took an official visit to Indiana.
Yes, he did.
The wheels are already in motion, in a certain sense.
It's just beautiful if it happens. And Colorado would be great too. And Auburn was the big rumor a couple of months ago. I don't know if that's died down or not. But Indiana to go play football? the QB whisperer loses his 5-star QB to Bloomington, Indiana. Yeah, that'll be a very, very fantastic day on the text line if that happens. Back to the text line we go. 405 says, if I hear one "We Want Hawk" chants from the home crowd, I'm going to immediately put my season tickets on SeatGeek. LOL. I don't think that we're that deep into it just yet. I don't think that would happen. Game 1. I think a lot would have to go wrong. I don't foresee that famous last word. I don't foresee that happening this year, the "We Want Hawk" chants.
Joe in Tulsa says, I heard Teddy Lehman last year prior to the season say that Gavin Freeman was the best receiver in fall camp. Gavin Freeman hardly touched the field. He was nowhere near the best receiver. Venables also talked up Gavin Freeman. So what you hear about fall camp isn't always the truth. People need to back off the Mike Hawkins stuff. Caleb had 2 games as a freshman. Yes and no, Joe in Tulsa. Yes, what you hear in fall camp isn't always going to hold up once the games actually get played throughout the fall, but it is one thing when a guy has a nice week or 2 in fall camp. It's another thing when a guy has been consistently stable at worst, excellent at best. There have been flashes of legit excellence from Michael Hawkins really ever since spring practice started. Again, he has outpaced expectations in a big way. Does that mean he starts over Jackson Arnold? Absolutely not. Does that mean there is any semblance of controversy right now? Absolutely not. It just means that, A, when his time comes, there's going to be a lot of excitement because of what he's already done on the practice field and the flashes that he's shown. And B, you don't really have to sweat the outcome at quarterback because if for whatever reason Arnold falls flat on his face, you got 2 viable options that you can fall back on in Hawkins, who offers more upside, and Casey Thompson, who offers much more reliability and stability.
Yeah, well, in case you missed the front of the show, there's a future cast out for OU to land Michael Fasusi. We're 6 days out from the big decision, the big 5-star offensive tackle, number 11 overall player on Rival. So God bless Brandon Drum. He's out there on this one, is he not? Woo! If he gets him, if OU gets him, he's the hero. If OU doesn't get him, you know he's going to hear about that for the rest of the season. But feels like OU's in a good spot right now for Michael Fasusi, and they've already got a top 10 class, number 8 class right now, and that'd be their highest-ranked player. That'd be a big bump on the offensive line for sure. By the way, Spartan Sooner says that since 2014, Bixby has won 9 out of 10 state titles in 6A2 and 6A1, only losing in 2017 to Booker T, 28-21 in the championship game.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're on a roll.
And J.J. Hester would have been at Booker T at the time. So I don't know what happened in that game, but I would be inclined to believe that Ronnie Crimson was correct.
Bad Daddy's Burger Bar in Norman, where maybe Parker shows up later.
I'll be
there. I guess
there.
We'll see. But Caleb Kelly has showed up here. We got 3 hours of OU football content coming your way next right here on The Ref.